Welcome back to Hello Happy Money. My name's Claire Chancellor, and today what I want to explore are beliefs. What are beliefs? Where did they come from? How did they become limiting? And what can we do? What can we do to shift our beliefs? What's the whole, what are the steps? And so that's everything that I want to cover in this short video today. I want to make it short, sharp, and easy for you to be able to follow. So let's get started. I'm going to bring up the visuals again about to be able to explain this at a deeper level. So what are beliefs? Now, just as that word states there, beliefs are an idea that is true without any facts. That word there, beliefs, does hold that small little word in there, lie, which is worth taking notice of with questioning, what is it that you believe? Where did it come from? Is it the truth? And while it may have been the truth in the past, is it your truth now? Because otherwise, living a life but based on lies may not serve you so well. A simple example there is, the fantasy childhood of believing in the Easter Bunny, believing in the Tooth Fairy, so on and so forth. They served a purpose back then. There was that mystery, that magic, the playfulness of childhood. And yes, the Easter Bunny does exist. He exists in marketing and all sorts of things. But to believe in him moving forward, is there any benefit of that? So beliefs are created by what we are consistently exposed to. So this happened, so it means that. And that combination equals your belief. Let me be broad and say, my parents got divorced. It means that relationships are untrustworthy. So now the belief is all relationships are untrustworthy. Or my parents got divorced. It means freedom and choice. So relationships give you freedom and choice. Whatever your life experience is, this happened, the meaning that you've put to it equals your belief. And so just thinking about your beliefs around money, you know, possibly, your parents were wealthy. It means I can be wealthy. So money equals wealth. My parents lost the house growing up when I was little. It means that owning a house is risky. So the belief is home ownership is risky. Obviously, I'm painting the picture, right? It's the beliefs that are created that we're consistently exposed to. And so thinking about, again, the beliefs that you're holding about your money, about your relationships, where you're moving to in life, are they beliefs that are creating harmony in your body? Or is there that tension that there's like this guard, like a shield that's creating a barrier, because there's that sense of powerlessness, because those beliefs are limiting, that you're pushing away the good things because relationships might be hurtful, or money can be lost, or I don't deserve money. Like what is going on with your beliefs? Some amazing, amazing work by Dr. Amato studied water consciousness, and he recognized that when we have a glass of water and we project the energy that you are a fool, you fool, you fool, that freezing the water and looking at it under a microscope could show up such disharmony in the water. Or a different glass of water. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, water. All of that yummy, nice energy being projected, freezing that water, and it came up in this beautiful, harmonious, beautiful image there. So knowing that our bodies are 70, 80% water, what are your beliefs doing to you and your health? Now, of course, he didn't just stop there. He studied all different types of beliefs projected at water, the wisdom, the truth, being eternal, angels, I love you, peace, you fool. And we can see the difference really easily, the difference in the disharmony of you fool, you make me sick, that evil energy there, versus that harmonious, I know I keep using that word, but that bliss of the truth. Like, wow, like the vibrational energy there is amazing. So thinking about the things that you say to yourself on a consistent basis? Do you say to yourself, like, yeah, I'm a fool? Do you wonder about, like, I'm absolutely sick of this? Sick of what? Sick of the world, sick of your job, sick of the money predicaments? What are your beliefs doing to the water crystals within your body? Do you have a belief that the world is an evil place? Or are you able to rise above that and, like, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, so appreciative and completely in awe of the magic and the beauty of Mother Nature? Do you take on the belief that I am wise and I am smart? Because I tell you what, being a dyslexic in the primary school educational system, they wanted me to think that I was dumb and that I couldn't keep up. And in fact, the dyslexia is an expertise. It's a genius part of our mind that people are recognizing more and more in today's society, that the dyslexic find creative, amazing answers much quicker than the average way of thinking. So yeah, take on the belief, like, my dyslexia, I'm a genius. The belief that I am eternal, that I don't have a fear of death. Or what about that belief that, yes, I am enough, I love myself? What are the messages that you're saying to yourself? Because if you're going to work to get that money and you're saying to yourself, like, yeah, I'm sick of this, I hate my boss, your body is going to create that energy within you. Your body's going to let you know that you do get the day off by creating an illness. So careful about what you're manifesting with your belief system. This is just another quick example here. I'm a Reiki master. So knowing that you could have a jar of rice, this was not my experiment, by the way, but you can have 3 jars of rice, projecting the love on 1 jar of rice, projecting the Reiki energy on the rice, and seeing that it held to good form quite easily. Then the nothingness, it got ignored jar of rice. Oh, looks a bit it's probably deteriorated in the rate that you would expect it to, versus the hate jar of rice, the mold and the muck at the end of that jar there. Again, what is the messages? What's in the environment that you're in? And what is that doing to your body? What beliefs are holding you back? And lastly, the plant experience. There was a university study there on plants, of one being ignored versus people energetically projecting love and appreciation for that plant, and the plant just claimed its space. Of course, they watered them the same, they gave them the same nutrients, but there was that extra step of giving it that little bit of love and appreciation. So let's go into limiting beliefs, and how that all comes together with your manifesting. You may have seen this scale within other trainings of mine, but this is my manifestation scale, that if you are at the bottom of the scale, then you need to work through those limitations and that angst. Like we just talked about with Dr. Amato, with the I hate myself, I'm stuck in scarcity, I'm stuck in limitation. How is that festering in your body versus raising your energy, getting up there to what is possible, knowing what you can influence in your reality, and recognizing how your thoughts, what you're focused on, your beliefs, how that changes not just what you think about yourself, but how you show up, your behavior, the response that you get from people, because people want to be around likable people. And so, yeah, the question is, where are you on this scale? If you're down the very bottom, you've dropped into that human limitation. If you're just getting by, you're probably at that verge of that spiritual awakening, where the universe is asking you to really question, how you're holding on to the materialism, the ego, what you've been taught in the past, your limiting beliefs. Then when you move up the scale, there's that soulful inspiration where you really do look deep within you to recognize that you are pure potential and you can create anything that you want. And then expanding your energy even more, it's that pure manifestation where not only are you receiving, but you want to give to others this knowledge about what they can achieve in their own world. And then we go again, a whole nother slide there that I should have gone over to. But the one that I want to bring your attention to is going from that bottom end of the scale, that human limitation, versus coming up to that inspiration where your intuition is speaking to you clearly and you're on that pursuit for what feels good. It's a really big difference with the belief structure there. So when we talk about manifesting, people often talk about the limiting beliefs, and it's just that loop that we hear on social media and YouTube and things. It's like, okay, you need to clear away your limiting beliefs. You need to clear away your limiting beliefs. Like, where did these limiting beliefs come from? So taking you back to being a baby, whether you think about being a baby in the womb space or just being born, but back then your energy was pure, pure like that metaphor of a clean glass of water. So as you grow, you start to take on the beliefs of your caretakers. They give you a name. They tell you what your culture is. They tell you what your religion is or is not. They tell you what is expected from manners or not. And you, as that little one, are like a sponge. You take on their energy. You'll do whatever you can to ensure your survival, to fit in with the tribe. And it's all instinctive. You can't control this when you're little. You're just that sponge, and you're taking on board mum's beliefs about money, dad's beliefs about money, your caretaker's beliefs about money, what's demonstrated to you about can we afford it or can we not, or what's expected of you to get money. So pivoting for a second there, as an example, the moment that your mum is taking you by the hand, taking you out to go for a walk, and then you race ahead on towards the road and you see and you notice and you hear that panic in her when she's like, careful. It's this unconscious response where the body just stops in that moment. It's that 10 seconds where it says, wait a minute, I'm not safe in the world. 1 minute I was safe, and then the next minute I'm not safe. There's panic. And it's like the water becomes tainted. While your mum meant well in that moment, wanting to keep you safe, there was this belief that started to be created that I'm not safe in the world. And logically, as an adult, you know that you're safe. You know that you can cross the roads. But have you done the work, the deep inner work, to address that at a core level when your brain was being formed when you were little? When you're little, you're like a sponge and your unconscious mind just takes in that energy. And then by the age of about 8 years old, there's this filter that comes around the mind, critical faculty, that seals in what you believe to be true as a child, your experience of the world, your experience of who you are, how you are with people, who you are in the world. That's sealed. And so then our logical mind starts to form. And so it doesn't matter how many kind of affirmations and this knowing that, like, no, I am safe, the unconscious is still holding on a level of caution. And so within hypnotherapy or doing some belief change work, you can go to the core. And then, of course, you're going to change the way that you show up in the world. You're going to show up really proud, excited, going on adventures, completely different, manifesting a different experience than the one of fear. So, so this metaphor going from that clear glass of water to having all of these experiences, these moments in time, tainting who you are, the limiting beliefs. The question comes back to, as an adult, have you addressed that? Have you come back to the authentic you? Because once we filter out the limiting beliefs, your water then becomes clear, and new empowering healthy beliefs start to take its place. Your intuition will be so much easier to listen to and to acknowledge. And that's when you can start to manifest that truest version of you and the experience that you intended to have in this lifetime. Question is, how many limiting beliefs have you taken on board from your own childhood? It's actually crazy to think that those beliefs aren't even yours, but thankfully they are super easy to shift. So going back to my original slide, this happened, so it means that I go to school where people are, it means that I have friends, it means the belief there is people are friendly. Versus somebody else's experience, I go to school where people are, that means I'm exposed to strangers, people are a threat. Can you get the sense there of like those two different beliefs and the experience of both those people? Like it's going to take you down one path or another. So I want to look at that one experience there, that I go to school where people are. That means I'm exposed to strangers. People are a threat. growing up, like when your mum would say to you, like, don't speak to strangers, careful around strangers, and then they say, first day of school, go be friends with the strangers, and you're like, hold on, what? When do they have the talk about what's different between a new friend and a stranger? But I wanted to drill into this particular belief and how this can show up in somebody's world and just create an utter chaos. So your mum takes you to school that first day. People are strangers, therefore, people are a threat. You shrink your energy in, and it's like you then suddenly become the odd child in the group. You then go to school again to be the odd child. You then go to school again with this belief. You then go to school again with this belief, like people as threats. I'm not safe in this world. It builds and it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds until that actually becomes your identity. And it's like, no wonder it has such a strong grip on you that you don't feel safe in the world, that people are a threat, can't find the opportunities to manifest in money, or can't make good connections to get a good job, like all of this. Like it just becomes consuming because of this one moment in time when you first day at school and you perceive these people to be strangers, they're a threat, bang. So what we want to do when it's with whether it's with coaching, hypnotherapy, theatre healing, your own journaling, your own inner work, we actually want to come back to that one moment in time, all the way back in your past, whether it was childhood, in the womb space, or even past lives, when you took on that moment in time, that 10 seconds of people are a threat, or whatever the belief is that we're working on. We want to go back to that moment in time and recognize that it wasn't actually that this world is not safe. It's actually a lack of resources. It's actually a lack of support. It's actually a lack of an inability to speak up. There is something going on where you didn't get your needs met in that moment. And so you've taken on the belief like the world is threatening. Does that make sense? Now, the intention when I'm working with a client to change their beliefs and make life change really quickly, the aim is actually to deactivate the intensity of this. So let's say this person was that girl that has grown up and the world is chaotic, the world is not safe, the strangers, I can't voice the help that I need to get on top of this work. It's all piling up, the obligations, the stress, and now it's showing up in the body. If I took her back to that very first moment in time where she made the decision that the world's not safe, then what we want to do is we want to actually bring down the intensity, literally, like she'll have a picture in her mind of that moment that represents that icky yuck feeling, and we want to shrink that picture down. We want to blink it black and white. We want to desensitize it. We want to thank it for everything that it's taught you, but it's no longer holding onto the steering wheel of life, that it's not safe in this world, is not serving anymore. And it's just like grabbing that picture, that black and white, tiny little picture, literally like throwing it over the back, shrinking it down, moving it behind you, anything that you can do so it's no longer part of your future, it's no longer in front of you. That's the goal. That's the goal, because the minute that you've moved your experience of it, you can now bring in a new experience. So thinking about your own parents, what did you hear about money growing up? Was it positive? Was it negative? Is there some things there that need to be shrunk down, blinked black and white? How were your parents in the area of money? Like, did they spend it as quickly as it came in? Were they stingy because their grandparents have gone through the depression and every little bit is sacred? What was your dad's main story about money? Like, was he his own business owner and therefore he was really cautious, or was he a gambler because he was escaping his own inner demons and he, gambled the house away? Or was he fantastic with money? In fact, he's an accountant and he's taught you all of the good financial discipline that, like, you want to teach everybody else. What's your mum's main story about money? Again, was there enough? Did she give to everybody else before she gave to herself? Or did she show you how to budget? What is your quick judgment of people with a lot of money? Like, people, or, rich people, what? Fill in the blank. And therefore, are you rejecting becoming that? So often people will say, rich people are arrogant. And it's like, well, naturally, your body's going to repel being rich if that means that you're going to have to become one of those arrogant people. Instead of seeing those people as manifesting achievers, right? And then have a journal on the worst thing about money is, and really explore your relationship with the beliefs that you have about money. The first step to change a belief is that we need to become aware of the program that is at the unconscious level that is playing out. We need to discover the beliefs by self inquiry or with a coach. And it starts off with journaling prompts or meditation prompts that life is like, and get the answer. And then, okay, what's that like? And what's that like? Well, money is like, and what does that look like? And what does that look like? Or friendship is like, is friendship a threat? I'm lonely, I can't meet anyone. Like, where is all of this coming from? Or is friendship amazing? Like, it's so supportive and wonderful and uplifting. What experience occurred when you were young that caused you to believe this? Because it's not happening in the present state. It might be affirming it in the current state, but it is not where it started. So if that old limiting belief, like again, you have to work hard for your money because that's what dad did. What age did you duplicate that? Like what when did you take on that belief? And is it still true? Do you have to work hard for your money, or could you do something that you love and therefore you get rewarded for doing exactly what you need to do? What new choice is available to you? Because that switch in your mindset is going to give you the sense of freedom that you can choose anything that you want, that lifts your energy, and the manifestation becomes so much easier. So, to change your beliefs about money, it's definitely going to be at that deep unconscious level. And you may find that it's just so much easier. And I'm all about ease to find a trusted professional who knows how to ask the sharp questions, who gets you there really quickly, whether that's NLP coaching, hypnotherapy, kinesiology, theta healing. Because now that you understand what needs to be done about going back to the root cause, shrinking it down, linking it black and white, whatever your practitioner is an expertise in, those are the things that I do that get results really quickly. But trusting somebody there to actually help you see beyond the four walls that you've confined yourself in with these limiting beliefs. And then what you want to make sure that you do is you want to bring in the abundant beliefs to fill the space where the limiting beliefs were held. If you're holding on to fear under your rib cage and like it's hard to, you have to work hard for your money, then let that go and then invite the light, or what I use is liquid crystal, but using the power of your mind to bring in the yummy gold energy, the abundance, to take up the space where previously that limiting belief was held. You're going to be able to breathe a lot easier and show up shining that light and feeling lighter and radiating a truth about what is possible for you to manifest. So it's fun stuff. Like I absolutely love love helping people, increase their wealth. And within one short session, I have seen it. I have seen people go from being in debt to no debt with one session, and then they kind of joke and say they're going to be a millionaire by the time we're finished with that coaching package. You get yourself out of the way, get the fear out of the way, get the limitations out of the way. I've seen it. I promise you, things can change really easily. It's just about knowing how to drop down your walls and barriers to be ready for that change. I'm Claire Chancellor from Be Your Purpose Coaching, and I will talk to you later.